Welcome to Nation of Glory. The story of Roman Reigns in 2025 is not just another chapter in the long history of WWE, it is a moment in time where the future of the industry depends on the choices of one man, a man who has carried the weight of an entire generation on his shoulders. Standing at the center of the ring, Roman has always been more than a superstar, he has been a symbol of evolution, resilience, and sheer dominance. But as 2025 unfolds, a question lingers in the minds of fans worldwide. What comes next for the tribal chief? For years, Roman Reigns built a dynasty, one that transformed WWE and reshaped how the world viewed championship reigns, leadership, and storytelling. His run as the tribal chief became the benchmark for greatness, a standard that no other superstar has come close to touching. But now, as the landscape evolves and new threats emerge, Roman stands at the crossroads of reinvention and legacy. He is no longer the champion who needs to prove himself, he is the figure others measure themselves against. And in this moment of transition, the whispers from the locker room to the arenas grow louder, curious about where his journey leads from here. Roman's 2025 begins with a familiar feeling, yet something within him has shifted. He has spent years fighting challengers, dominating main events, and defining the identity of WWE. But he understands that every king eventually faces the question of what comes after the throne. Roman has built an empire, one forged through sacrifice, family loyalty, and relentless improvement. His evolution from the big dog to the tribal chief created one of the most iconic characters of this era. But the man behind that aura now faces a different kind of test, one not shaped by titles or victories but by purpose. In 2025, Roman feels the demand of storytelling pulling him in new directions. His presence alone electrifies crowds, whether he speaks a single word or simply walks into the arena wearing that signature calm, confident glare. He knows he isn't just fighting opponents anymore. He is shaping the legacy that will define how future generations remember him. And with that responsibility comes the desire to choose his next steps with precision. Roman Reigns has never been a man content with repeating history, he is driven by pushing boundaries, breaking expectations, and crafting moments that feel larger than life. As new superstars rise and carve their own paths, Roman watches with a sense of pride mixed with quiet observation. He has become the measuring stick, the performer others want to face because standing across from him is the ultimate validation. But Roman does not fear the arrival of new talent, he welcomes it. He remembers the days when legends once stood above him, when he looked up and wondered if he would ever reach that level. Now he is the one others chase, and he embraces the responsibility that comes with that position. Roman's future in 2025 is shaped by both opportunity and uncertainty. He sees the growing tension around him. Rivalries simmer beneath the surface, challenges rise unexpectedly, and the WWE Universe waits for the moment when he steps back into the ring with renewed purpose. Roman understands that every comeback, every return, every confrontation must mean something. He refuses to be a superstar who appears without reason, he carries himself with a sense of intention that makes every move matter. Behind the scenes, Roman uses this time to reflect on his career, the victories, the changes, the moments that defined wrestling. He knows he has given the world some of the greatest story arcs ever seen. But he also knows that as long as he is still capable, the world will expect more. Roman has always thrived under pressure. It fuels him, sharpens him, and pushes him to evolve. And as new possibilities open in 2025, he starts envisioning the battles that will shape the next chapter of his reign. One of the most intriguing questions surrounding Roman Reigns in 2025 is who will stand across the ring from him in the coming months. The roster is filled with hungry competitors, each hoping to carve their own legacy by challenging the tribal chief. Some want to dethrone him, others want to earn his respect. But regardless of their intentions, they all recognize one truth: being in the ring with Roman Reigns is a career-defining opportunity. Roman knows that any feud he enters must be something that elevates not just him but the entire industry. He has become selective, intentional, and strategic. He chooses rivalries based on story, emotion, and impact. And the WWE Universe continues to speculate, predicting possible opponents, analyzing subtle hints, and awaiting the moment when Roman steps back into the center of the spotlight. In 2025, Roman reflects deeply on the legacy of the tribal chief. This character became more than an on-screen persona, it became a movement, a cultural shift in wrestling. The dominance, the family dynamic, the confidence, the psychological warfare, the slow, deliberate storytelling, all these elements shaped an era. Roman feels pride in this creation because it represented authenticity. It was not just a gimmick, it was a reflection of heritage, leadership, and identity. Yet Roman also understands that evolution is necessary. The tribal chief will always be part of him, but he wonders whether a transformation waits on the horizon. Roman has never been afraid to reinvent himself when the moment feels right. And in 2025, he senses that a new version of him may soon emerge, one shaped by experience, maturity, and the desire to leave behind a legacy unmatched by anyone in WWE's modern era. As Roman considers his future, he also recognizes the power of storytelling outside the ring. His influence reaches beyond WWE. He has become a global figure, respected by athletes, admired by fans, and followed by millions who connect with his journey. Roman understands that his next chapter may include ventures beyond the squared circle, but he also knows that his connection to wrestling will never fully break. WWE is part of who he is, part of his bloodline, part of his identity. This internal conflict, balancing legacy with evolution, creates an emotional undercurrent in Roman's journey through 2025. He wants to give the world moments that last forever, but he also wants to honor his personal growth. Roman is aware that the world sees him as a powerhouse, a leader, and a champion. But beneath that aura is a man who continues to push himself, challenge himself, and explore what greatness truly means. The question of, what's next, becomes more than speculation, it becomes the driving force behind Roman's decisions. Every appearance he makes sparks conversation. Every silence fuels curiosity. Roman understands the power of mystery, of anticipation, of timing. And as WWE moves deeper into the year, fans can feel that something is coming, something big, something meaningful, something worthy of the tribal chief. Roman's legacy has never been built on simple victories. It has been built on impact. Whether he is winning championships or shaping storylines, his presence leaves a mark. And in 2025, that presence becomes even more defined. Roman represents an era, a movement, and a shift in storytelling. He carries himself with a level of excellence that inspires others to elevate their craft. He is the standard, the benchmark, the figure who stands at the top because he earned it through years of hard work, struggle, and transformation. As the months unfold, Roman prepares for the moment when he steps forward again. He knows the world is watching, waiting, wondering. His next rivalry, his next direction, his next evolution, it all holds significance. Roman is aware that this chapter may define how the next decade of wrestling unfolds. And he embraces the responsibility with the same intensity that carried him through every challenge he has faced. Roman Reigns in 2025 is not a man searching for relevance, he is a man shaping the future. His journey is far from over. If anything, this new phase may become the most interesting chapter yet. He stands between legacy and possibility, between history and evolution, between what was and what could be. And the world waits to see how the tribal chief chooses to write his next story. The path ahead remains open, filled with potential challengers, dramatic twists, emotional stakes, and unforgettable confrontations. Roman steps into the future with the confidence of a man who has conquered everything placed in front of him and is now ready to explore what destiny has left to offer. Whether he pursues a new championship, confronts a rival from his past, or leads the next generation into a new era, one truth remains unshaken: Roman Reigns is still the force that drives WWE forward. His legacy continues to grow, not because of victories alone, but because of the weight he carries, the presence he commands, and the stories he shapes. Roman Reigns remains the anchor of WWE, the figure whose journey impacts the entire landscape. And as 2025 progresses, the world will witness the next evolution of a man who has already redefined greatness yet still has more to give. Fans around the globe wait for the moment when Roman Reigns steps back into the center of the arena with a new purpose vibrating through the atmosphere. His music hits, the screen lights up, and the crowd erupts in a roar that only he can generate. Roman walks down the ramp with that calm expression, the aura that commands attention, and the certainty that every step is part of something bigger. This is Roman Reigns today, still the tribal chief in spirit, still the leader in presence, still the face that defines the era. But the next chapter promises a transformation, a shift, a new direction that will again change everything. Roman does not simply return, he evolves. And every evolution becomes a milestone the industry never forgets. As 2025 continues, fans are not asking whether Roman Reigns is still great. They are asking how much greater he is about to become. And that is what separates him from everyone else. Roman's story is not slowing down. It is expanding, deepening, and preparing for the next monumental shift in his legendary journey. This is the story of Roman Reigns in 2025, a story of new beginnings, rising challenges, inner reflection, and the promise of something extraordinary just beyond the horizon. The tribal chief has more left to say, more left to do, and more left to conquer. And the world waits, breathless, ready to witness what comes next. Follow, subscribe, and like.